I put all my footage on my computer as soon as I got home, then hardly looked at it over the next few months. A big part of my daily routine during my trip was looking through the day's footage to save what was worth keeping, but once I got home and I wasn't immersed in the travel experience, it was much more difficult to sit down and sort through it. By the end of my trip, I had dozens of hours of footage, which felt like a daunting prospect to sort through, especially since I've never aspired to be a capital C content creator. Funnily enough, the first clip I thought was worth keeping wasn't even especially dramatic. It's just a slow cruise through the English countryside, which felt so different from the roads in Canada. I want to note that I landed in England on July 11th, so this footage isn't from the first day of my trip, it's just the first day that I actually had my dash camera working. And of course, to even get my dash camera working was a bit of a journey. I ordered the dash camera to my grandparents' house in London. Once it arrived, I set it up, I made sure everything was in order, and then I needed a whole separate adapter to power the damn thing. So I had to order that converter directly to my nan's house in Chesterfield. And then I had to faff about with the fuse box until everything was properly installed. In my first day of actual travel, I only rode from London to Chesterfield, and there weren't any particularly interesting moments, except for my stop off at Beauvoir, or apparently Beauvoir Castle.
I saw signs for Beauvoir Castle, so I decided to pop in, see what it was about. Apparently you can normally go up, but it's closed today for a flower show. On a lovely stretch of country road, and you can take some pictures with the castle in the background, I think.
Background out the way, let's talk about the footage from the day. After leaving my nan's house in Chesterfield, I headed northeast towards Whitby. This took me through the North York Moors, both on the way in and out, which was a great way to start my trip. The main reason I wanted to go to Whitby, of course, is the Dracula connection. In the book, Whitby is where Count Dracula landed in England, and there's an iconic abbey at the top of the hill which I had to visit. Astute viewers may notice a theme in these first few clips. There's something about the way the trees arch over the road in the UK that you just don't get in Canada, and that I found incredibly charming. Here's something else you don't really see in Canada. With cars parked all down one side of the road, there wasn't really enough space for both lanes of traffic to go past at the same time.
I'm now on the road to Whitby, just reached the top of an enormous hill, so I figured I'd stop, have a snack before heading on my way. There was a bit of a kerfuffle going through the last town, one camper van going one way, a couple of camper vans going the other way, so they had to ride up on the pavement. Now I don't have a big old camper van in front of me, I can, when I pull away, actually go a decent speed around this bit.
Which was great until it started to rain. By the time I pulled into Whitby, it had been pouring down for half an hour. I was a bit concerned since I'd planned on having lunch up by the old abbey, but fortunately the clouds parted and it turned into quite a lovely sunny afternoon.
So I've had a bit of lunch up by the ruins of the abbey, getting ready to head out again, and I can't find my loops. They must have fallen off somewhere, so I'm just going to have to go searching. It's like I checked my pockets and I didn't find them. They can't have gone far. I should find them quickly enough.
They can't have gone far, he said. I should find them quickly enough, he said.
I still haven't found my loops. I've been looking for probably 20 minutes. I just am flabbergasted and beyond annoyed. It's tough, but I have to make a decision quickly because, well, the weather won't hold out forever. Getting a bit cloudy, it looks like the rain is starting to roll in this way. Eventually it's going to start raining, and when it does, it is going to be, I suspect, torrential. That was the first spot of rain. Oh, I just heard thunder. I think I'm going to have to move on, but we're going to give it a few more minutes. Okay, crisis averted. It turns out there's a little fence here, and I was standing over it to take pictures here, and I think that's where it came off. So they were just hanging down on the grass over here. We found my loops, all is right in the world. Now let's go before that rain gets here. We also have this building just up there. It looks like a chapel or a castle or something. I'm going to check it out and then we'll be on our way to Newcastle.
After I left Whitby, it was back to the country roads. These were some of the first proper twisties I'd been down, and they were a bit tricky in the wet, especially with a mountain of luggage on the back of my bike that changed the balance from what I was used to. But the view from the hilltops in the North York Moors was absolutely stunning. The roads down were steep and twisty too. It was an absolute blast. I also want to make a quick note about my production process here. Because I installed my front dashcam at an angle, I needed to rotate the footage to orient it true to life. And I imported some clips for these videos after editing them on my phone, which is why some of them have a more noticeable black border than others. These roads were all national speed limit, but there's no way you can navigate these sorts of bends at 60 miles an hour. The hedges cut visibility down far too much. This was a really cute little bridge over that ford. I am just glad it wasn't flooded. Small English towns have a very distinctive character to them, and these couple of bends here were exactly the sort of experience I was hoping to get from them. I didn't expect those sheep to scare that cat across the road right in front of me. And I definitely didn't expect this bastard to nearly make me crash just a minute later. It was a really close call that had me shaken for the rest of the afternoon, although the nice little downhill immediately afterwards did help calm my nerves a bit. I'm planning to publish quite a few supplementary videos for this series, and I think a full breakdown of this incident will have to be the first. I'll pop a link up on screen now, as well as in the video description. Let me just say for now that I'm very impressed with my reaction times. I managed to apply hard braking less than half a second after the sheep started moving. Looking back on it in retrospect, I'm reminded that the sheep was only 5 to 10 feet in front of me. It was incredibly close, but also very validating that I avoided getting in an accident by some situational awareness, but mainly sheer reaction speed. Sheer reaction speed. I'm not going to apologize. Once things opened up a little bit, I was able to really let loose on some of these roads. Cruising along these bends at the national speed limit was therapeutic, seeing how my only experience was 80km/h speed limits on dull straight roads back home in Canada. The camera doesn't show it super well, it's a bit too close to the ground, but the white car here fully cut across my lane going around that corner. I saw them well in advance, so there wasn't a real risk that they'd hit me, but they did ruin the line of my corner, which is almost worse. The last clip I saved of this day's ride was this really nice double bend. After this point, my route took me through Middlesbrough and up the highway to Newcastle, where I stopped for the night.